AlanCoxShow.com if you want to watch. I realize there's an issue with the podcast of yesterday's show, by the way, for people who hit me up about that, so I'll take a look at that and see what's going on. But otherwise, you can listen to this program on the iHeartRadio app, and whether you do it live or in podcast form, that talkback button, that little button there, the red microphone, you can always leave us short messages there. Guardians tonight, 1-4, here at home against the Toronto Blue Jays. 6:10 is the start, so we'll roll out a couple minutes prior in time to get you set up, and you can listen to that on the app as well. Did I mention another $1,000 in about 10 minutes? Next week on the show, tickets to see Hailstorm and the Pretty Reckless at Blossom in July. Incubus is going out. They're going to come to Blossom on August 9th. And if you like AWOL Nation, they're going to play the Agora in October. So that's next week. Alan, I'm going to see John Mayer in Pittsburgh tonight. Can I get the accent? John Mayer show tonight, you know. He did, he was supposed to do the show there in February. His whole band got COVID. They didn't know what happened. He goes, I don't feel so good. They're like, I shoo. And they, and John Mayer, he goes, we got to cancel this show. We got to postpone this show. We're going to do it at a later date. I don't know when. I won't go out there play my sob rock. It's all sob rock. I don't know what that means. 80s?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like 80s.
Synthesizers and...
New wave type music.
Oh, yeah.
I like that stuff.
Not my favorite.
Mary does not like the sob rock.
You like the Heartbreak
John.
Warfare type stuff. You like the John Mayer Trio.
Yeah.
That's pretty... That's what I like.
I like when John Mayer plays love songs.
I'm taking my girlfriend over here to the show. She sounds exactly like me. We're sitting up in the... I mean, it's so... The PPG Paints Arena. I remember when it was the Civic Arena back in the day. What happened? It was PPG Paints Arena after I moved. It was still the Mellon Arena when I lived in Pittsburgh. But they rescheduled February show tonight. John Mayer in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Steel City. I think it'd be great if they had play-by-play people at, the people who work these venues at concerts.
Yeah.
Just kind of rile people up. That'd be fun.
But they would be talking over the people playing music.
No. Not during the performance, but like to introduce them. Back in the day, it would be like radio people that would bring people on stage.
Yeah. Not
usually at big venues, but once in a while. I've done a couple of stage announcements in big venues. Mm-hmm. Be fun for those guys over the PA to just... It would have to be, obviously, with the consent of the artist. But if that became the industry standard... Yeah. John Mayer tonight! It'd be fun. So... there you go. Texter. Some of that. Driving to Pittsburgh to see John Mayer. Alan, people can be ridiculous. That is true.
Here we go. Very true. Is that it? That's the whole text.
Whole text. I went up to the convenience store by my house the other day. I got stuck waiting to pay for a 6-pack for 15 minutes because the person in front of me was so mad at the clerk because there were no more Dairymen's iced teas left. The clerk calmly told him the truck wasn't coming until tomorrow, and he started freaking out like it was her fault that the delivery wasn't that day. I think there are so many people, and it's easy to dismiss them because of how they react, but there's so many people who have so little going on or to look forward to that the slightest thing will throw them off. Mm-hmm. Here's someone whose entire life revolves around a Dairymen's iced tea. Now, if you're Dairymen's,
it is good.
If you're Dairymen's, those are the reaction aside. Those are the kind of fans you want.
Yeah, those are the people that keep Sal employed.
You talk.
Sal.
I had an experience with one of these guys earlier in the week. I went to cash my check from the weekend, going into the bank, ready to chat up some.
You like to walk into the lobby.
Bank goers.
Yep.
Well, no, I went in because I had to cash the check. I had to deposit. I had a few things I needed to do. So I'm waiting in line, and the one lady is busy. She's doing her work. And then the other guy this guy's getting increasingly louder with the teller. And he's big and imposing. So I feel like when guys that are large in stature get loud, it's frightening to me. I don't know if that's a general consensus.
Is it?
It is. It is.
Why?
It's unsettling.
Why are you scared of me?
Because you're a foot taller and 200 pounds heavier.
It also breaks the relative normal silence of a bank lobby.
Correct.
Yeah.
And those people, those kind of guys also know that usually gets results.
Because they are big and scary.
Right.
And she's just a little bank teller lady, you know? And he's getting louder. And it was kind of like the donut situation where he was in the drive-thru, couldn't get what he needed to get done. And
What do you mean you don't have donuts at this bank?
What do you mean I don't have any money?
Make me some coffee. So from what I gathered, I overheard him. He was getting upset because he couldn't deposit. He's like, I don't know if I went over my deposit limit or whatever. I want to deposit these 10 checks. And he kept cutting the bank teller off. Like, she was like, well, sir, I'm trying. He's like, I'm no trying. I want it to get done. Well, sir, no explanations. Just do what I asked you to do. So over and over again. And then I finally get up right next to him, and she gets a word in edgewise, and he's like, I want to deposit my 10 checks, each of them for $140, $1,040. Why is this so hard? And she was like, well, sir, because that's not the total. And he's like, that is the total. That's the total I wrote down. That's why I had to come in here. And she had to show him
Math.
Mm-hmm. This guy was mad at her and screaming in a bank lobby because he did his math incorrectly. So when he went to deposit them through the drive-through, she sent it back. Was like, hey, you can't do this. I need you to refill it out. So he came in pissed off at her.
She sent it through the pneumatic tubes and the whole thing.
And so he came in pissed off at her, thinking that she just wasn't doing her job.
And he said, what, $1,040?
$1,040, and it's $1,400.
Right.
And
but
so
then isn't that good news for him? You got more money going in than you think, stupid.
But now he feels stupid, and he's going to double down.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Because I heard this, and I
You better be right if you're going to pitch a fit.
Well, and then he was like, I don't mean to be an inconvenience. And then his whole thing changed, and she's just standing there like, took it, because she knew she was right.
He shrank 2 feet.
Oh, he totally did. And I'm like, what? How do you just go from 0 to 60, not even considering the fact that maybe you're the one
You
that's
need
wrong?
that, though. You need to know that you can be checked.
Yeah.
Because that guy will think twice about doing that again because he knows how little he
Hopefully.
feels.
You're right.
He will because
Hopefully. I don't know. There's a lot of people.
at the very least he'll have his math right.
They get,
At the very least.
Again, hopefully. People that are that angry and that ready to go off
I'm sorry.
don't always learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if this is a flaw in myself, but I tend to be unfailingly polite to people who do nothing actually for me, like workers and fast food workers and
There's nothing wrong with that.
But
better to err on the side of manners.
I lash out to the people that do the most for me.
Doctors.
No.
Why?
No.
Oh, because
his mom,
my
and his
brother and my mom.
Because familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah.
You know they'll take it.
I'm like, I don't mean it. I just be mad.
Mad at what?
Because I just
what could your mom and brother have to do in your
I
life that
just
would
get
make
frustrated.
you mad?
I get frustrated.
Shut your ass up.
And then they're like, you're getting overwhelmed. I'm like, I'm not getting overwhelmed. This is just stupid. And they're like, no one wants to touch my vagina. First of all, take a breath. I'm like, all right, took a breath. They're like, okay, but this is why it's not working. See? I'm like,
But don't they do that all to you all the time?
And
too?
what are you getting worked up about?
just various things. I need someone that, because I'm so unfailingly polite to everyone else, I need to vent to someone. I like my friends.
Take it out on someone.
I was
Why do you
in.
have to take it out on anybody?
Yeah,
I have
don't
to.
Why? I don't need to take it. Like I'm
I need
very
to take it
polite to
out.
people, and I don't have to take it out on people.
I
gotta
did
take out
not.
the people.
I did not grow up in a house with screaming.
Oh, you're lucky.
With yell. I realize I am with yelling. I got spanked
did you
all the
grow up?
time. I got spanked all the time. But
Quietly, though.
No, it was
yelling.
loud. It was-
Well, was he
The
yelling when
spank
he would
was loud.
spank
but
you?
no, it's very quiet. That was so
That's
creepy.
right.
Did
That's
your
why
mom
it's so
spank you or
scary.
your dad?
My mom, she'd be like, "You don't want your dad to do it," because my dad would let it sting.
Yeah. He's
My
gonna draw blood.
My mom, I don't think really wanted to do it, but that's what parents did. Like they
Yeah.
were doing the best they could do. So it was a lot of whap, 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 and I'm just laying there
Can't
waiting
believe they
for it
let
to be
you
over.
listen to that song.
Macaroni in a pot. That was a big thing for us. But if my dad ever did it, it was whap.
One and done.
Let it,
But
no,
you
no, no,
didn't-
no. Let it sting.
Oh, let it.
And then whap,
Let it
yeah,
resonate.
because it was all they were trying to teach me lessons. But anyway, I did not grow up in a house where my dad was screaming at my mom. I mean, if someone's voice was raised in our house, it was such a weird thing. So as an adult, I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I don't yell at my wife. I'm not a yeller.
See, my dad.
I will let it simmer and push it all down.
My dad wasn't
But
a
I'm
yeller.
not. I'm not like an exploding guy either.
My dad wasn't a yeller at home, not with us. Now, were we terrified of him? Of course we were.
That's because he was quiet.
But it was just because you didn't want to disturb him.
Right.
But also, we saw how he was at work.
Yeah.
And on a job site where
You're
he's
like,
got
oh,
guys,
that's the real guy.
and they're costing him money. So if you're costing him money, he would unload on his
But
guys.
Sure.
But that's
that
all
work for him.
kids do is cost you money.
Right.
That's what kids do.
But someone that's doing their job poorly and costing him thousands
Right.
and thousands of dollars is not the same as someone that didn't drink all their milk,
Right.
It's
But kids are like employees
Yeah.
that you pay, but they don't do any
They
work.
don't care.
It's like they're all union.
They're not
Yeah.
trying to be better.
Oh, that's all he'd always try and get us to do work, and so we'd do what we had, the bare minimum to try and get away with it. But then we'd just be like, if he's home during the day, which he never was, unless it was a Sunday, and thank goodness on Sunday he would take like an afternoon nap after church, and like it was just trying to avoid him.
It's like the
because
real life.
you don't want to wake him up. You don't want to like.
They made a board game called
Yeah.
Don't Wake Daddy.
Yeah, that's kind of how
Really?
it was.
You never
don't-
played that?
No.
It was like you had to move around the house. The dad was sleeping, and you had to move around the house, and there were obstacles that you would hit that would make noise.
This was a 20th century
This
game.
is
Yeah.
a board game that
Yeah.
we would play, and it was called Don't Wake Daddy. And if you woke up the dad character in the board game, you would lose.
Yeah, he would like shoot up. He was like a little
Yeah.
plastic guy.
Yeah.
Wake Daddy, is he gonna wake up? Don't wake Daddy.
The game where you try to sneak into the kitchen without waking Daddy. Landing a noise, it could be back to bed for you.
Don't wake Daddy.
From Parker Brothers.
I have never heard of that game
Seriously?
before.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And I fully understand that, like, I'm sure people who feel like they have no power at work or nobody, they're yelling. I totally get that, but it's like, man, that's not how I grew up. I remember when I would spend the night at friends' houses. Like, I had this one friend. He was my best friend for a long time, and I always stay over at his house on the weekends. And his mom, his parents were divorced, and there was always a new dude coming out of his mom's bedroom, or there would be yelling or whatever. And I was like, oh my God,
Chaotic.
But to him, he was like, man, it was nothing.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was.
Yeah. My sister's house is a yelling house, and I can't stand it. Every time I go over there, I always tell everybody, I'm like, everyone, just stop yelling at each other. Can we? But that's how they talk. They
I was gonna
talk
say,
at like an 8.
If it's not in anger,
It's both.
oh okay.
Like they'll start to say something, and then my sister will raise her voice, and then the 10-year-old will raise her voice,
Oh.
and then it's like, you guys gotta quit.
that sounds like a
You can't
nightmare.
do this.
It's chaos.
But I feel like some people.
That's how some people operate, though.
That's just how they operate.
And that works, yeah.
No one's feelings are hurt. That's
Right.
just how they
Right.
talk to each other.
And I think
you
there's
know?
value in that too, because it's like, people who grew up the way I did, it's probably easier to kind of, people who were in a yelling house growing up, nothing bothers them. Mm-hmm. At least
Or
that,
at least-
that does.
Or
Yes.
everything bothers him.
Or everything.
Well, I remember like
Let me give away this money here real quick. It's a $1,000 chance for you to go fund yourself. This is your second to last chance this afternoon, so listen closely and good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword WORK at WMMS.com. That's WORK. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
Yeah.
my oldest daughter had this moment where she was spending time with some kids, and she's like, oh my God, they yell so much. I was never like that. And I was like, wait a second. Wait 1 second. We would have to take you to the playground after school so you could run around and just yell.
Scream.
Because sitting in school made you so pent up that
Wow.
you had to go and get this energy out. And you are
noises!
the loudest person I've ever met on this planet. And she's like, I am, because she's grown up and matured a lot. I'm like, you don't remember just the way you would just scream. Like, you'd just be running on the playground, not even yelling, like just yelling to yell.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't remember that at all. And I was like,
noises!
well, I do. And it was a lot of noise.
Steven-
We called you mouth.
Stephen Canton says, Poundcake got mad at his mom that one time because she didn't clean his bedroom when he came home from college.
Okay, but no.
He didn't even take a breath. Ah!
The disrespect. the disrespect.
How is
What
that
disrespect? It's her house.
disrespectful to you in your mother's
She asked
house?
me to come home.
She let you have that room for 18 years. How is that disrespectful
It
to you?
wasn't. That first of all, that wasn't the room I grew up in first.
You're making my point for me.
But she used it as a closet, and I couldn't even open my door to get to my bed. So how do you expect me to live like this? I'm just supposed to toss everything out and put it in the hallway and disturb more of your space? You could have cleaned something off. You don't need all these clothes. So I was just like, wow, I feel wanted. I feel welcomed.
Wow.
Thanks, Cody. Wow. Thanks for coming back and spending time with us, Cody.
On the subject of screaming, you were doing them a favor.
By coming home, gracing them with his presence.
Nothing. No love.
He shows up in a cape, comes down the
You're
stairs.
welcome.
There's a fog machine. On the subject of screaming at clerks, over the weekend I was in a Walgreens. And I took out a little bit I never have cash on me anymore. I go, today's the day I might need some cash. Go to the ATM. And I go, they had a little thing there, the Nerds Nuggets.
Yes,
they're so
gummy
good, right?
clusters.
Gummy clusters.
Oh.
So they had like 2 boxes for $5 or something like that.
I call them my vitamins.
There,
Because we have gummy vitamins for the kid, and I'll be like, I'll take my vitamins.
that's right. My vitamins will keep me up.
That's pretty funny.
So I
good.
just reflexively grabbed 2 of the boxes because I was like, oh, that sounds good, right? And I go up to the counter. Now, there are 2 clerks within 10 feet of me.
Mm-hmm.
One's to my left, one's to my right. They're both doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
So I stand there at the counter, and I've got the things on there. And I'm not a bell ringer. I'm not an excuse me guy. I'm not a I'm not that guy, right? I stand there, I go, they're here, they're working.
Yeah.
Surely one of them will eventually turn and see if anyone is at the counter. And I stood there for a good 2 minutes, and neither one of these people turned around to see if anyone was at the counter. So I just walked out.
Did you steal the candy?
No, I didn't steal
Oh.
I know I left it on the thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, man. So I wasn't pissed
Why
because
not
I don't
say,
need
"Excuse me"?
I could have. I didn't need the candy. It was right there, and I'm a grown man who likes candy. So I was like, I didn't need it.
You saw it as a sign from the universe.
No, I saw it more as a sign of like, wow, I was here for a while, and they had their backs to me the whole time. I could have easily said, excuse me, and I'm sure they would have happily come over.
Yeah.
But I was like, imagine you're working, and you're a clerk, and you don't even turn to see. It's like in the break. I'll see the phone's ringing. Poundcake's on his phone. I don't ever go, hey, man, right? This last break. I see the phone's ringing. I don't pick them up because I don't know who they are. I don't put them on hold. He's on his phone the whole time. Doesn't look over to see if anybody is calling, right? There's no light flashing to see, but he doesn't. And I keep looking over at him because I can see my screen flashing.
Yeah.
He's on his phone looking at, I guarantee you, of zero importance whatsoever, right? He's at work. He's at work. And so now I doubt these calls were going to change my life, but that's not the point.
Right.
He didn't even look over, right? That's how nice I am. I'm too nice.
He's gracing you with his presence.
He
huh?
is gracing me with his presence. He sure
Maybe
is.
if you
But that's
cleaned his
not all.
room.
Thank you, pal.
But that is not always the case. That is not.
That's not the point. I didn't say it was always the case, but you have one job.
He's like, I've answered the phone before.
But like
He's
What
got
about all the calls I have put
he's
through?
got an excuse for
I d-
everything.
But no, for sure, I've definitely been on my phone, and there have been times.
How do
where-
you explain not answering the phones because you're on your phone?
Well, in commercial break, I do check my phone, but there have
Not check your phone. You didn't even look to see if somebody was calling.
Okay, well, yeah, I took your word for it because I'm sure I didn't.
You
see
know you were on your phone. Did you answer any calls the last break?
Yeah, I've answered a call the last
No.
break.
Did you put a call when they were? Listen, I saw what I saw.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you're lying. For sure, I was definitely on my phone, and
Why would that be?
Because I'm on my phone in commercial.
Yeah, this guy over here, boy. See, that's his answer. Because, Alan, in the commercials, I'm on my phone. That's my time in the commercials. It's like I'm not even at work. It's my time. Like when I go to commercial, the show's temporarily done.
Yeah.
There's nothing going
It's over.
on. Yeah, it's hey. This guy. I love you, buddy. You kill
What
me.
would be the equivalent of you putting the nerds down and walking away in this situation?
I didn't say anything to him until now.
Okay.
I didn't go in there and go, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't go knock on the window
Yeah,
and
yeah,
go,
yeah.
hey.
Excuse me.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's, Okay, I got a break here. If you want to text for something, 35192. If you want to call, maybe Poundcake will see it. You can leave us messages on the iHeartRadio app, and we'll be back after these.